Germany and the Vatican responded that the archives and political files were available to applicants. Turkey denied the claim of universal jurisdiction. Unfortunately, due to a great personal loss, I became involved in the case. My mother died in a car accident in 2004, just after the approval of the trial by the federal judge. At that point, my family created the Luisa Hairabedian Foundation to continue her legacy, which is to promote strategies for the concrete and effective realization of human rights focused on the prevention of genocide. I formed a legal area within the foundation to continue the legal preparation of the case and follow to its conclusion. We also established, with the support and cooperation of the Sorian Institute, the Latin American Center for Genocide and Human Rights Studies, that is, at this moment, organizing the commemoration of the Armenian Genocide in the Patagonia, Argentina. We have created an educational program for high school on human rights and genocide, and a theatrical play that tells the history of my family and the links between the Armenian Genocide and the crimes against humanity committed during the military dictatorship in the 70s. I am driven to do this work not only by my love for her, but also by the profound and absolute conviction that the genocide against Armenians must be recognized and known by all. After the death of my mother, we reached out for the support of the Armenian community, and in 2005, its various institutions, including the HBU, the ANC, the Armenian Church, among others, expanded the suit in a manner similar to a class action and became co-complainants in the truth trial. I'm going to give some details about the evidence of the case, because the case wasn't presented upon books or history books or history about personal families or newspapers, and this is something related with the proofs that Turkish presented to Napolitano. We didn't present newspaper proofs. Through several trips during 2005 and 2010, I was able to visit several countries in order to obtain government documents that for various reasons had not been provided as requested by the judge Hairabedian. We acquired valuable documents classified in the archives of the US and European countries, which were translated into Spanish and legally certified, which was necessary to be able to present them as evidence of the trial. Those documents, diplomatic letters, secret reports, eyewitnesses' accounts, orders, among others, were a unique documentary collection that we used in court to prove legally and unequivocally the crimes committed by the Ottoman state against the Armenian people. The evidence was divided in two classes. First, documents that prove the existence of massacres, deportations, and death that we can call circumstantial, which include documents from Belgium, the United States, Great Britain, and France. And second, documents that prove the systematic, pre-planned nature and execution of the massacres and deportation and the state responsibility of Ottoman Turkey, which are the German documents. The German documents presented in court were selected with the assistance of the Sorian Institute through the assistance of Professor Bahaken Dadrian and Professor Tanner Akshan. The German documents were of fundamental importance to the case because most of them were secret or top secret, candid, and very revealing internal communications between German diplomatic officials in Turkey and the Imperial German government in Berlin, which was the political and military ally of Ottoman Turkey. We presented a study of the oral testimonies held by the Oral History Program of the University of Buenos Aires, a team of young historians and anthropologists that interviewed with a scientific methodology, survivors of the genocide and their descendants who lived in Argentina. We also included testimonies of 10 witnesses and survivors of the genocide who made declarations in the trial, and certificates of the Apostolic, Protestant, and Catholic Armenian churches naming all the clerics murdered in the genocide. Finally, we presented articles from both Argentinian and American press, especially La Nación, La Prensa, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Boston Daily. After 10 years of hard professional work to reconstruct the historical facts and the documentary evidence from around the world, on April 1st of 2011, Judge Norberto Ollarvide declared that the Turkish state has committed the crime of genocide at the expense of the Armenian people in the period between 1915 and 1923. Within a few days of the judgment, lawyers from the Turkish embassy in Buenos Aires and Turkish journalists started calling to ask questions about the case. We explained the Argentinian judicial system and the peculiarity of this case, in which there are no penalties directed at any individual. We explained that this was an impartial investigation to fulfill the claims of Federico Hairabedian and his right to know the truth. Nevertheless, the Turkish embassy and some Turkish newspapers started saying that my grandfather was an extreme Armenian nationalist with no other interest than to bring the dignity of the Turkish people to its knees and humiliate them. Now I want to share something I question all the time. Where we go from here? This case is only one experience, but it demonstrates one thing. Crimes needs to be solved in court, and the genocide against Armenians is a crime. So we need to think globally with new legal and international strategies to push Turkey to recognize genocide and confront the consequences.